Hey everyone, welcome to my channel on this super windy, winter, cold day. Now this episode is going to be a lot of fun, so go get yourself a coffee, a beer, or some popcorn and sit back and enjoy, because in this episode I had a mishap, and a big one. You're going to love this, and it involves this, the SWAN K1 PRO. Now that's not what this episode was all about. This episode was to show you this new little feature. So if you buy the SWAN K1 PRO, it normally comes with something like this to put your GoPro on. It's a GoPro mount. So they have a new mount that you can order right here, and that's for the DJI ACTION 2 camera. So that's what I was out here trying to see what the video would look like with the DJI ACTION 2. And where is my ACTION 2? Here it is right here. So if you're not familiar with an ACTION 2, it's a little square camera like this with a display on the back, and it's by DJI. Very light, and it fits in this little box up front. You're going to see it in this video. The wind is blowing. I was also trying out the FREEWELL filters because since it's so bright out here, I wanted to put an ND16 on top of the DJI ACTION 2 and see what the video looks like. I haven't seen the video because I'm out in a different location. I'm out in a location that's about a mile farther than where I normally fly, because this ended up out in that cornfield back there. And yeah, in this video you'll see me searching for it as well. So enough of me talking, because it's really cold out here. Enjoy the video. Now on a very cold Sunday morning, I went to my local field to fly the SWAN K1 PRO, as I have done in the past in many videos that you've seen here. I've flown this with FPV DJI goggles, and I've flown it just looking at the controller with the display. So as I'm assembling the SWAN, I'm noticing that the wind is picking up. There wasn't a lot of wind when I first came out, but now the wind is picking up, and it's gonna cause some serious problems. Now, as I already mentioned, it's pretty windy today and cold. And if you've ever seen this thing fly in the wind, it kind of flops like this because, you know, it's getting buffeted by the wind everywhere. So I don't expect it to be smooth filming, but I want to try it out with this ACTION 2 camera. Fits in this nice little hole like that, and then you have this little cover that goes over top. There's a little elastics on either side, and this just hooks in the elastics and holds it in place tightly. Now I've set the ACTION 2 to super wide view. I want it to be really wide, like big fisheye. So that's what we're gonna get, a big fisheye view on the first flight. So let's see how it does in the wind. Here we go. Here is the point of view from the DJI ACTION 2. So here's the camera. I pick it up and I put it in the SWAN, and then I put the securing cover over top. Being a very experienced drone pilot, I can fly pretty much anything in the wind. It doesn't matter what type of wind is blowing. So as I take off, you can see I'm pushing the SWAN into the wind. This is the direction the wind is blowing, so it's pushing it away from me. On the SWAN, if you want it not to be affected by the wind, you just shoot it up in the air really fast and turn it into horizontal airplane mode, and then it just flies with the wind or into the wind. So this is what I've done, and let's check out that video from the DJI ACTION 2. It's flipping, and here we go. Yeah, baby, it looks pretty awesome. Check this out. Now you can see here as I head into the wind, my speed is drastically slowing down, but I can still control it because I do have a throttle control on my remote, and I can speed it up. Now as I fly over, and I'm gonna go with the wind, watch the speed. So now I'm going with the wind, and look at my speed pickup. I'm actually trying to slow it down because it's going super fast. And as I turn back into the wind, I almost come to a standstill. Now, in order to get the SWAN back to me, I'm using an old sailor's trick. In other words, I zigzag into the wind. This way, I'm sort of on an angle of the wind, and I can keep on zigzagging till I get closer to my location. Here I am moving with the wind, and I'm going super fast, so in order to slow it down, I pull back on the throttle, but that brings the nose down, and look at how close I'm coming to the treetops. I have to be very careful. This is full throttle into the wind, and you can see I'm really not moving that quickly. As I approach home, I'm going to put the Swan into vertical mode, which will bring it down into a landing mode. So as we do that, you can see it here, the nose is going to go up, and then all of a sudden we're going to come straight down. And as it's coming down, I'm trying to film this with a camera, but the wind is blowing my hand around, so things are moving. All right, for flight number 2, I'm going to try putting an ND16 filter over top. I'm going to leave it wide angle, but put an ND16 filter over top. FREEWELL sent me these really cool filters. I've never tried them. What happens when you... Oh, this thing's talking to me now. It's saying, you're not doing anything with me. Anyways, ignore the beeping in the back. What happens when you put an ND filter over a camera that's bouncing around in the air is it slows the shutter down, and when it slows the shutter down, you get maybe a little bit smoother. So we'll see how that works now. So let's try it. All right, to put these filters on, I have an ND16 here. They're magnetic, so let's plop it down on there, and it fits nicely. And then we just put the included case over top, and that is going to hold the camera in place for our flights. All right, it's cold and windy out here, so let's get this thing going fast. Here we go. Motor start, and take it on up. Blast off! In the wind, sideways. Oh my God, the wind has got a hold of it. Look at it. That is the wind blowing it all over the place. That's why you don't fly these things in the wind, because, oh, they're kind of crazy. So what I'm going to do is take it up and fly it. There we go. Get her up there. Hit the A button on here. There she goes, baby. Whoa! It did some weird thing there, that's for sure. Try again. How many satellites do I have? I got 16. Let's hit the A button again, see if I can get it to go into airplane mode. Let's take it up. It's getting farther away. I got to put it in airplane mode. The wind's blowing it. It's the only way to get it home. All right, I got it turning. Trying to bring it back. Don't wipe out on me now. It's coming back. It's coming back. That's why I say, whoa, it's flopping out of the sky again. It saved itself. Ooh, that's too far. We gotta land it. All right, don't fly these drones in the wind. The wind just took mine way over there. It's probably a kilometer away or farther. I could see it on the map, thank God. So we have to go get the Swan because it landed about a kilometer away in this wind. Whoa, this is insane. Now, the only saving grace to finding it is on the map on this here display. It shows me exactly where it is. So that's where we're heading. And my nose is running. All right, let's go. Now, as I was flying this thing and I could see the road, when I was landing it, it was like, oh my God, don't land on the road. A car's going to run right over it. So I purposely landed it across in a farmer's field, which I'm going to have to go trudge out in the snow to get. So we're on our way. Here we go. Now, that beeping sound you hear is coming from the controller saying that there's no signal. It's lost reception and signal. So hopefully as I get closer, maybe it will reconnect. If it's still in one piece, we'll see if it landed. I'm sure it's fine. These things land really nicely most times. Most times. Let's go down here. And according to the map, it's around this curve in the road. So I have a curve in the road here. And then when it makes a curve again, it's over there. So I got to cross this highway. So not this curve, but right up ahead. Oh my God, on the other side, it's freaking trees. That's where I landed it then. So I landed it right over this curve here. Oh, there's a road right there. Maybe I can turn into this. So it's someplace out here. Yes, I can turn. This is perfect. All right. It's in this farmer's field someplace. Out in there. All right, we'll have to do some walking. This was supposed to be a relaxing Sunday. Apparently not. So here's how we find it. If we look at the map, we see looks like little eyeballs right there. It's probably out of focus. And then the drone or the Swan is over there, that blue thing over there. So I just have to walk from there to there. And as I walk, these little eyes, the controller, which I'm holding in my hand, will get closer and closer to the Swan. So I started away out there on the other side of that cornfield, probably 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters away or a lot farther. And we're over here. And there's my Jeep. And we got to trudge this way according to this here map. So let's go. So on this screen here, it's telling me it flew 1.4 kilometers. So that's almost a mile. It flew a mile from over there to over here in the wind, just blown. So once again, if you buy the Swan, don't come out and fly it on a windy day. I thought I was a pro and I could handle it, but nope, it got away from me. I tell you, without this controller, I would never find it. I would come over here and just look around and just have a field of corn, you know, cornfield, and how the heck could you see that? I can't see anything right now, but according to this, I'm getting pretty close to it. And that's the road right there. You see behind me, the road, there's cars coming on it. That's where I could see on the map that it was looking like it was going to land, and I didn't want it to do that, so I kept pushing it so it landed over on this field. It says I'm really close to it now, but oh, it says I gotta go this way. This way? Did I pass it? Oh, there it is. Whew. Looks like it over there. It's on its side, and I recognize it because it's got the Captain Drone logo on it. And in case anybody's wondering, no, I'm not going to fly it back. There she is. Oh, so when it hit the corn husk here, look at that. It came apart. Came apart as it crashed down. That's it. So the camera's still intact, so I'll have video from that. It's probably still going if it's running. That's why. That's why. It's pretty cool. Look at the battery came out. So when it crashed down here, so those arms came off. My guess is it hit on an angle. It just came beaming down through this little runway here. Smash, 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 pulled the arms off and everything like that. Now the good thing is it's totally, you can put it back together really easy. Like there's no damage whatsoever. All right, so let's see what we have here. We've got the battery. So that came out. The camera's still intact. The arms, they just pop off. I can pop them back on. All right, the battery fits in here. I'll just put the battery back in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the battery just to see if it talks back to the radio to make sure everything's good. There we go. So it won't take off on me or anything, but let's see. The radio should stop beeping and it should update the information. There's my little cover here. I'll put the cover back on. At least they make these things very, very durable. So yeah, if you're like me and you're a goofball and you fly it out in terrible weather, well, there you go, it's fixed. Let's see what it says on the screen now that they're connected. They're talking to each other now. I even have, look at this, I have a picture of me. So there we go. You can probably see on my hat cam here that this camera's working, and there I am right there. It's looking at me, so everything is working back as it should. All set to go for another day. Let's see what the error messages say. What's the error message? Serious abort, dangerous flight. Tells you the exact time. Then it says disconnect. So that's when it crashed. All right, to transport this back, we got to take everything apart. I'm just going to see if my little, we're going to have some cool footage on here, if this camera worked. And here's the video from the camera. So this is taken at the point where I lost control over the school. Now watch this. Look at how close it comes to the rooftop of the school. I did not realize that. So as it's bouncing around, the wind is pushing it very, very fast. I have chopped up this video so that it doesn't last the full 2 minutes in length that it is. So I'm just showing you parts where you can actually see some landscape and orientate yourself to where you are. So the wind knocks it around, the school's in the background now. Now I'm heading to the farmer's field, and up ahead is the road that I want to get over, but I can't see that. I can only see it on the map on my remote control. So you can see it's going, and it wants to land on that road for some reason. I don't know why. It could be that it's at the end of the geofence that I set prior to flying. So here we are going over the road. Thankfully, glad it didn't land on the road. And then I'll get it over in the farmer's field, and here we're going to crash. And there we go. Take the arms off. One arm, the other arm. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I do the walk of shame back to my truck. Here we go. So honestly, that's not such a bad day for me. You know, I got some exercise today. Yeah, you know, I could use exercise. I also discovered a few things about the SWAN K1 PRO. That is that if it's super windy out and cold, land it. Land it, land it, land it. Note to self, land the Swan. Don't try to be a pro and fly it, because yeah, that's what happens. Next thing I learned is that the SWAN K1 PRO, when it lands and crashes, it's not such a bad thing because it just falls apart. and then you put it back together and it's good to fly again. So I'll be out again with the SWAN K1 Pro on a less windy day. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up. And if you want to get yourself a SWAN K1 Pro or the Action 2, the links will be below this video. Now I got to drive home. All right, catch you guys in the next video. Bye.